Hi, this is Gal from RMO Agency. We wanted to help you go through the disaster loan assistance program that the government is offering. This is access to up to $10,000. It's based on your 2019 income, and you don't have to pay this back to the government. So our recommendation is that you submit this application right away while the funds are still available, and take advantage of what the government is offering. There are other programs. This is not the only one, but going through this ourselves, we noticed that this is super simple, super quick. There are other applications for different loans that small businesses can take advantage of, but this one shouldn't take you more than 10-15 minutes to submit once you have the information that you need. So I'm going to take you through the whole application process. Feel free to stop this video, go get the information, and then continue, and make sure that you submit and keep a copy of your receipt at the end. So let's start with the eligibility. Any of these types of categories are eligible. You are probably in this category right here where you have no more than 500 employees. So if you're in this category, go ahead and check it. If not, then you have other options to still be qualified. All of these items I've already checked, so they come to you unchecked. You want to make sure that you check them all. If you do not, you're actually not going to be qualified for this program. Make sure that you're actually telling the truth. So read one by one and make sure that you do qualify for the program. Number one is that you do not engage in illegal activity. Number two is that you do not have child support obligations that are pending. Number three, this is not a farm or an agricultural enterprise. You do not have anything sexual nature or derived directly, so most of you do not. Let's see, 1/3 gross annual revenue from legal gambling activities. So if you do not have 1/3 or more in gambling activities, you can check that. You are not in the business of lobbying, and you cannot be a state, local, or government entity or a member of Congress. So to be able to qualify, all of these need to be checked. Next, you're going to be putting your business information. So I'm not going to be submitting this. This is just an example, but I'll show you what it looks like. If you have a DBA, your DBA is going to go here. If you do not have a DBA, I honestly don't know what needs to go here since it is a mandatory. What I did for my friend is I basically copied this name twice. But if you do have a DBA, that is where it's going to be. All right, your EIN, which is your tax ID number, employer identification number. If you are sole ownership, this is for our RMOs. It can be your social security number. If you're a corporation, that's going to be your tax number. Organization type. Most of you will be sole ownership for our RMOs unless you have a corporation, or LLC, C Corp, or S Corp. So if you do not know the answer to that, check with your CPA. If you do, then go ahead and check it here. Is this applicant a nonprofit? You are not a nonprofit. Are you a franchise? Most likely not. Maybe you are. If you are, click the yes. Okay, for this information, you may need to pause the video, talk to your CPA, or look at your either tax returns if you've submitted, or your profit and loss statements from your QuickBooks or Quicken or other bookkeeping program. So whatever your gross revenues for the last 12 months, for the 12 months prior to the date of the disaster. So I think they're referring to basically February. I would just say 2019 from my experience. If you read this question a little different, or your CPA says something different, just do what your CPA says. The way I read this application was basically your 2019 gross revenue. But again, I'm not an attorney. Please check this and make sure that the information you're putting is correct. Okay, cost of goods sold for the same 12 months. So when you check your P&L, your profit and loss statement, check for these two things, the gross revenue and then the cost of goods sold, and put this information here. If your company has rental properties that are residential and commercial, and you're losing rent due to the coronavirus situation, you can put this here. Nonprofit, cost of operation, I think this doesn't apply to you. Combined annual operating expenses. For all secular social services provided by faith-based entity. I think this doesn't apply to you either, but again, just read through this question again. For all secular social services provided by faith-based entity. Maybe these are business expenses. I didn't answer this, so I'm not so sure. Business expenses for secular social services provided by a faith-based entity. You may want to ask somebody about this question. You can always leave things blank, so this is only if you have these expenses. List of secular social services provided by faith. Oh, okay, so this has to do with this question. So what social services provided by a faith-based entity go under these expenses? Now, compensation from other sources received as a result of the disaster. If you have other compensation that you received that you didn't list up here in the gross revenue, then go ahead and put that here with a description right under it. Keep in mind that these sections that don't have the red are not mandatory. The application that I submitted was basically these two, and then I skipped all of these sections. I'm just going to put something random, and I'm not going to be submitting this anyways. Business address. This is not a real address. This is just a random one. Okay, so this is your business address. It cannot be a P.O. box, and your phone number here. Your email address. When was your business established? If you're not sure, go back to your book, to your corporate book, and see when this business started. You can also go to the Secretary of State website, sos.ca.gov, and look up your business and be able to find all these dates. Current ownership sense, most likely you've been an owner since you started. If not, then look at the date that you've established ownership. Business activity, this is construction and contractors. Detailed business activity, look at your specific trade. If you do not have it, then either pick none of the above or the generic construction contracts. How many employees on your payroll? So put that number there. And this is information about the owners. If you're the only owner of this company, you're just going to be putting your information here. Okay, so if you're the only individual, don't put an owner unless you're a sole owner. If you're a S corporation or a C corporation, it would be the CEO. If you're an LLC, that would be a manager. And as I said before, a sole owner is the owner. So for the C or S corporation, we'll do that. You can be 100% owner or less. Your social security, your birth date, place of birth. Are you a U.S. citizen, yes or no? Your residential address. Now, if you have another owner, a family member or someone else, go ahead and add another owner here. Now, I noticed that I missed something on top. Is your business owned by a business entity? So the answer for most of you will be no, unless your business is owned by a business entity, and then you would be a yes. If you're the only owner, you can go ahead and click next. If you need to add another owner, then I clicked add owner, add as many as you need, and click next. And now I can't, oh, I can remove. Okay, so I'm going to move forward with one owner. Additional information. Did anyone else assist you in completing the application? If anybody helped you, go ahead and put their information here. Oh, I see a few more questions up on top. Okay, so in the past year, has the business or any owners been convicted of a criminal offense committed in connection with a riot or civil disorder or any other declared disaster, or have been engaged in the production or distribution of any product, services that is obscene by the court or competent jurisdiction? Most likely the answer is no. If yes, then I suggest you speak with someone to see if you qualify. Is the applicant or any owner suspended or debarred from contracting with the federal government or receiving federal grants or loans? So for some reason you're not allowed to get government loans, you would need to say yes. If everything is clean on your end, then the answer would be no. Okay, criminal information, arraignment, charges. In the past 6 months, any criminal offense. For criminal offense other than minor vehicle violation, have you ever been convicted, pled guilty? Okay, so if you answer yes, I believe... Oh, they're not giving us multiple options. So I guess if you had a criminal record, check the other questions and see if they apply to you, and see if you can put yes or no in this question. Okay, let's go down here. I give permission. Okay, if anybody did complete this with you and you want to put their information here, then would you like the SBA to discuss the application with them? If you completed it yourself, just skip it. This is very important. I would like to be considered for an advance of up to $10,000. Make sure that you complete this. You put your bank information right here. Make sure that you give your business bank, not the personal. Don't mix. Oh, let's do Bank of America. And a routing number. And... okay, I'm still not going to submit, but I'm getting close. So make sure that you certify under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States that all the information that you've input is correct. Next. And this is a review. This is the last page here. Go through everything. Make sure that the information that you've stated is accurate. All the phone numbers, all the dates, everything else. And when you're done, state that you're not a robot and submit. I'm not going to be submitting this, but once you submit, you're going to get a confirmation number. Make sure you take a picture of the confirmation number or print this confirmation number, because they do say you're going to get an email confirmation, and we did not. So this email confirmation may take, I've heard, up to a week to be received. So make sure you have this number in case you have any questions about your application. So that's it. I hope that we made this process easier for you. Please take advantage of it, whether you get the maximum allowed or even less than that. Any amount would be helpful, since we don't know when we would be able to get back to work. And yeah, just stay safe and sane, and we hope that your family, your loved ones, and yourself are safe and healthy. Thank you. Have a good day.